this table where we laughed and talked all day. So long ago, love was offered. The joy of being together made you want to stay. Take me back.
Well, welcome back to Life with Nana. I'm Nana, and I'm so glad you're here today. So today I am starting, I'm a little late to the game, although I have done a preservation of something every day in August. So Jessica over at Three Rivers Homestead, if you've ever tuned into her channel, she does this challenge every August, and it's just put back something, a little bit of something. It might just be a couple of peppers or something like that. It doesn't have to be something as elaborate as what I'm going to do today. But we're going to join in with the challenge. Today we're going to do, this is the last of the cucumbers. So we have a big bowl of cucumbers here, and I have 3 half-gallon jars. And what we're going to do is we're going to ferment some pickles. And so I have everything kind of spread out that I need. But I did want to talk about, I'm looking at my little notes right here. I did want to talk about one thing. There's something called tannin, I don't know if I'm saying that right, that helps cucumbers stay crispy as they turn into pickles. So you can use things like grape leaves, that's what I'm going to be using, blackberry leaves, horseradish, bay leaves, and oak leaves. You can use all of those in this method. I'm also going to be using a burpless, what are these things called? Fermentation airlock lids for wide mouth jars. I may not be using those. Yes, I will. I couldn't remember if those were wide mouth jars. So these go on. Once you get your pickles down in here and get everything the way you want it, you're going to put this on. You're going to put a ring on it. And then I'm going to set it into like a 9x13 pan and put it somewhere here in the kitchen where it stays pretty warm. It needs to be somewhere around 70 degrees. You can look it up and it'll tell you exactly how much it needs to be. So, the first thing we're going to do, move that out of the way. The first thing we're going to do is I need to rinse off these grape leaves. So let me do that really fast. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one down in each jar. Actually, you know what? I may. All right, so we've got these clean. So then we're going to set these aside for a moment. My recipe calls for 2.5 tablespoons per quart. Okay, this is a half gallon, so this is 2 quarts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour some water in here, and I'm going to put my salt in there, and I'm going to get that mixed up so that it can start dissolving. And this is just some water that I had ran a few days ago in anticipation of doing this, because our water does have chlorine in it, and we do not want chlorine in this. You want to make sure you're using water that doesn't have chlorine. Alright, so 2.5 tablespoons of salt per quart of water. So that sounds to me like I need 5 tablespoons. 2. Sounds like a lot, I know. But you got to remember, we're doing a lot here. So we're going to start out with 1 jar at a time, and then we will move on from there. So I need a spoon for this. And you really don't want to use metal if you can help it. So that's why I grabbed a wooden spoon. And I'm just going to set this off to the side, and I'm going to give it a stir every little bit. Now this is not enough to fill up this jar, but what we'll do is we'll probably just have to add some more water to it, and that'll be just fine. I love doing ferments like this. They're so good for you. And once, this can take anywhere from 3 days to 10 days. So you're going to want to check it every so often to make sure that it gets to the point that you like it. And once it's there, you like it, you're just going to put a regular canning lid on this, or if you have some of those plastic lids, that might be even better. And you're going to put that on your jar, and you're just going to set this in the refrigerator. Now I happen to be lucky and have a refrigerator in my garage, so all 3 of these, when they're done, will go out there. So what I decided to do, since this is the end of the cucumbers, is I'm just going to slice them up. And the one thing you do definitely need to do is to cut off the blossom end. If you don't do that, it could make, your cucumbers go soft. So we're going to be cutting off both ends this time anyway. So let me get me a big knife. And before we get going, I've got some fresh dill that I bought because my dill played out on me. It went and bolted on me. That's all right. But what I'm going to do is split this between the 3 jars, because I'm almost sure that I'm going to have enough cucumbers for 3. And we'll just divide it up between the 3, and that's what I have. The rest of this can go into the other ones. Get me a little bowl for the garbage. So the stems are going to go there. Now you can't see very well, so I'm going to move the cucumbers over here. And I'll get 2 or 3 out. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut the blossom end off. And then the stem end, we're also going to cut that off. Now, if I were making whole pickles, the only thing I would cut off would be the blossom end. It looks like this might have had a little bad spot on it, so we're going to take that off. And then I'm just going to slice these sort of about the size of a hamburger pickle is what I'm going for here. Now I do want to put some garlic in each one too, so let's get that done. So I'm going to put 2 or 3 cloves, and we'll put some more on top. Hopefully we have enough dill for that. And then I'm just going to start putting these slices in here. I'm thinking it might go better with my mandolin, so let's try. You have to be careful with the mandolin. They will cut you. But what I'm doing is I'm getting close to the end, and then I'll finish it off with my knife. But that'll make the process go just a little faster. It does have a little contraption that goes on there, but I don't want to dig that out. And in 2 of these, I'm going to put some jalapeno. I'm going to put those in the middle. See how good that is. Who knows how that might be good. But I think this is a great challenge for this time of year. Now, depending on where you live, your gardens may still be flourishing. And if it is, that's great. But here in the South, ours is already, this is the last of the cucumbers, so the cucumber vines will be coming out pretty soon. We've already taken out part of the tomatoes. We've taken out the squash, and the green beans will be coming out this week also. So really all that's going to be left out there is okra. And peppers, of course. Peppers will stay out there. And I will just keep chopping those up every day and putting them in the freezer, because what I'm going to do with those is I'm going to go ahead and freeze dry them and make a powder out of them. And I'm going to mix up my own seasoning mix. Papa and I were talking about how nice that would be to have your own seasoning mix. I've made a lot of pickles this year. So I saw, let's see, of course, celebrating Appalachia. They made the 14-day pickles that I showed you guys, or that you'll be seeing soon. I'm not sure when that video will be released. We've made dill pickles that are super, super easy. And if I have any tiny cucumbers, I'll show you that. But I think I showed you on one video that how to do that. So. Water with salt in it again, because we're almost ready to pour that over. You want to kind of keep these kind of down in there tightly. Find a small one. All right. We're going to pour the salted water over the pickles, or over the cucumbers rather. And then I'm just going to fill my container up a little bit with some more water. All right, now I have these glass weights. These are perfect for ferments, that's what they're made for. And we're just going to pour that in there until the water comes up over that. And then we're going to take one of these things, I don't know what they're called. And we're going to put the lid right over it. And what happens is bacteria and all that can't get down in here because this is closed off, kind of like a baby bottle. But as pressure starts building in here, because it's going to be fermenting, then this is going to let that escape. And that's one reason I'm putting this into I'm going to put it into a 9x13 pan, because I already know that some of this water is going to come out of there. But doesn't that look beautiful? Isn't that gorgeous? All right, let's do the next one. Now in this one, we have, did I put my grape leaf in there? No, I didn't. I definitely want that. Let me get this one back over here. All right. That didn't take but a minute. And what I'm going to do is cut these in half. And that way I can put one down at the bottom and one half at the top. Okay. So this is just water. Let's put some more in here. Take that lid off of there. That'll work better. I have my canning salt. Now, when you're checking this, sometimes you'll find some scum around the top. That's perfectly normal. But if you smell something that smells off to you, it should always smell clean, and you might even smell the salt, the cucumbers, the garlic, the dill. But if you smell something that's not, doesn't smell right to you, when in doubt, throw it out. That's the best policy there. All right, we're going to let this sit, and we're going to do another cucumber. We've been getting these little worms in our cucumbers, and that's one reason we're just taking them out. They also have kind of a mildew on them, and to be honest, we're over the cucumbers. We're just completely over them. And I'm hoping I can use up most of these, and if I have some left, my buddy across the street, Mr. Aiden, he loves cucumbers. He's our neighbor's little boy, and so we'll give any that are left over to him. So, like I said, I'm a little late to the game of Jessica's challenge. Kind of snuck up on me this year. But I was so excited when I saw some of the other content creators doing this, because I thought, what a great way to start using up little bits and pieces. Like, for instance, we had that ham that we cooked the other day, and we had some potatoes left. Well, this morning, Papa and I got that ham, and he cut it into little pieces, and he cut all the potatoes up, and we put that in the freezer. And he can get that out and warm it up on the stove, and he can put an egg over it, and he can have a ham omelet really quickly. Or just have the ham with the potatoes and an egg. Right. And see, at the end of the season, you start getting these weird little cucumbers with the little weird ends. And I don't know. They're still good to eat, but they just start looking weird. It's hot here in Alabama. Have I said that in every video recently? Well, it still is hot. Although today it was a little milder. Tomorrow's a busy day. I've got 2 doctor's appointments. And so I'll be glad to have that day over with. Keep those going down. And I don't want to forget these. So I'm going to lay them right there so I don't forget them. Okay, I'm going to put the grape leaf down in here. I'm going to go ahead and put a couple more cloves of garlic. And I'm going to slice up this jalapeno and put that in there. I am going to take the seeds out. I don't want it hot, really hot, you know. And what I've been doing with these, as they come in, is just cutting them in half and freezing them. And then I can make jalapeno poppers, which is, I will go back one day and take them out of the freezer and fill them up and wrap them with bacon. And they'll be so good. All right, so we got that one in there. I really hope these turn out well. I like things that are fermented. They're so good for you. So if you are participating in Jessica's Every Bit Counts challenge, put in the comments below what you did when you saw this video. There's so many things you can do that will help save money and will help you along the way. You know, like sometimes I have leftover bread where you can make croutons, or you can make breadcrumbs, or something like that out of it, which makes it, you know, you're not wasting it, and that always makes me happy. All right, let's get this one. We're trying to keep the oxygen out. And I just kind of shake it around just a little to get some of those bubbles out. Also, I would like to say, sometimes for some people, these kinds of challenges can be difficult. So do the best you can. Don't beat yourself up if you don't get something put away one day. It's just not that big a deal. Do the best you can. Put away as much food as you can. And be happy with what you've gotten done, right? You see me slowing down as I get to the end? That's because if you get to going too fast, you will cut yourself. So slow down. Papa tells me that all the time. You need to slow down. And I'm trying to take heed. Certainly don't want to get cut. I love fermented carrots. I take those baby carrots a lot of times, and I will do a jar like that. You do it just like you're doing this, except for you don't have to put the grape leaf in it. They make a terrific snack. Really good for your tummy too. Almost forgot that. Let's get that in there. I'm taking some of those out because I want to get this jalapeno done in there. And we'll put these in. Alright. And look, y'all, we still have some cucumbers. I think they're multiplying in that bowl over there. I'll save us a couple because Papa, he's not really big on cucumbers. And we will give the rest of them to our neighbor. Put just a little bit more in here. All right. Well, all right. Rid of that. Well, okay, look at this. Isn't this wonderful? Look at that. I love it. Now I'm going to put these in a glass pan, as I said, just to be on the safe side, so that when these start working, you're going to start seeing bubbles. You might even see it turn cloudy. That doesn't mean it's gone bad. Well, all right. I hope you had a good time today. I hope you enjoyed being with me as we ferment some of these pickles and get rid of a few more things out of the garden. I hope you'll tune in to Jessica over at Three Rivers Homestead and watch her as she goes about the Three Rivers Challenge, or Every Bit Counts Challenge is what it is. And there'll be many, many content creators that will be involved in this, and so you can see what everybody's doing by using that hashtag and Every Bit Counts Challenge. Remember, Nana loves you. Remember, I'm so proud of you. And remember, you always have a friend here. I'll see you on the next one.